No wash day routine of mine is complete without this exact post-wash leave-in routine. This is the routine I've been following for the past couple of years, and it's one that I absolutely swear by for maintaining healthy hair. If you're not yet caught up to date on this hair care routine series that I've been doing, where I share my step-by-step processes and answer all of your questions, I'm going to list my routine playlist in the description box below so you can watch every other video that has led up to this point in my routine. And so far, that includes my pre-wash oiling routine, shampoo routine, conditioner and hair mask routine, and bond repair routine. So here we are, ready for the next step in that wash day process for me, which is my post-wash leave-in routine. Let's dive into it. So my leave-in routine technically starts with bond repair, which is obviously something that we covered extensively in the last video in this series, which was my bond repair routine. So I will quickly re-explain this product right here, just so we can understand how it's incorporated into my entire leave-in routine. But if you want to know more details about it, more specifics, definitely check out that video. So this is the Living Proof Triple Bond Complex Hair Strengthener, and it's the very first product I apply after I get out of the shower. In total, I apply 4 pumps of this product to my entire head of hair. And to make sure that I'm evenly distributing this to the best of my ability, I will split that application into 2 steps and 2 pumps. So I split my hair into 2 major sections and then apply 2 pumps of product to each section. So I will take those 2 pumps of product, rub them back and forth between my hands to try to spread that over my hands, and again, try to ensure as even application as possible. And then I will scrunch that product from my ends up into one of those 2 major sections of hair. And then I'll just repeat that exact same process on the other side with 2 more pumps of product for, again, 4 total pumps. So 2 pumps, rub that back and forth between my hands, scrunch that in from the ends up, so I'm really only getting this on the lengths and ends of my hair, and then that part of the application process is complete. Living Proof recommends waiting 10 minutes before applying any other products to your hair, so I wait for 10 minutes and then I am ready for the next step in my leave-in routine, which is my leave-in conditioning spray. I am not easy to please when it comes to leave-in conditioning sprays. There are a lot of different boxes that these sprays have to check in order for me to want to keep them in my collection, use them consistently, and then recommend them to you guys. I really do like to look for leave-ins that contain ingredients that have been scientifically proven to protect hair from damage, so that is one box it needs to check. Another box it needs to check is that it needs to contain heat protection. Because my hair strands are very fine, they can be weighed down by using too much product in this post-wash leave-in routine. So I would so much rather use a leave-in conditioner that contains heat protection instead of needing to use 2 separate products for those purposes. If I'm going to be reapplying heat to my hair in between washes, like a couple of days later, then I will go ahead and use a separate heat protectant then. But that's definitely something that I view as separate from this routine because it's when my hair is dry, it's a couple days later. These are just the products that I'm applying right after I wash when my hair is still wet. And then aside from having ingredients that protect our hair from damage and heat, the other main things that I'm looking for in a leave-in spray are really more the way that it performs on my hair and makes my hair feel. So it needs to be something that really helps with the detangling process, since that is a process that can often cause breakage. It needs to make my hair feel soft and smooth. It needs to make it look sleek and shiny. And it needs to be something that I can apply a decent amount of without it feeling sticky or buildup-y in my hair. And I personally think that using a spray for the purpose of conditioning and everything I just talked about and adding heat protection is absolutely crucial. Because compared to other kinds of leave-ins like serums and lotions and creams, it is the easiest to control how you're distributing the product on your hair with a spray. And even distribution, along with like maximum hair strand coverage, is the #1 goal when it comes to applying leave-in conditioners and heat protectants. So after testing out so many different products in this category, there are a handful that I really love that I am happy to recommend to you guys and will list and link below. I definitely do plan to do an updated video on my favorite products in this category where I can go more into depth on ingredients and hair types they may be best for, but that is an entirely separate video. So for now, I'll just quickly mention some of my faves. The first, of course, is my all-time favorite, the Pureology Color Fanatic Multitasking Leave-In Spray. Another is the IGK Good Behavior 4-in-1 Prep Spray, the Bumble and Bumble Hairdressers Invisible Oil Primer, the Pantene Miracle Rescue 10-in-1 Multitasking Spray, the Not Your Mother's Tough Love Bonding Leave-In Protector, and one that I cannot find for the life of me, the L'Oreal 21-in-1 Moisture Spray. I think my sister may have accidentally taken that when she was going through my PR stash yesterday, so one that I need to repurchase for sure because I think it's a great drugstore option. All right, let's move on to how I apply these sprays. So because the goal of using a product like this is to cover as much of our hair strands as evenly as possible, I like to try to achieve that goal by applying them in sections. So I not only split my hair into 2 major sections, but I also section off each of those 2 sections as well. And I'll just do that by grabbing a small section of hair and then moving the rest of the hair on that side out of the way. And something that you can do to separate the rest of the hair away from that section is just clip your hair up on top of your head with a claw clip. And I actually tackle each small section by spraying my leave-in conditioner on both sides of the section. So I will literally spray on the inside of that section and then flip my hand over and spray on the outside as well. Again, that is my attempt at covering as much of my hair as possible. I don't want to just spray the inner part because then the whole outside of my hair isn't protected and vice versa. And I will start applying that leave-in conditioner probably from like the tops of my ears all the way to my ends. I am aware that that definitely neglects a part of my hair from like the ears all the way up to my roots, but I just have never applied leave-in conditioning spray at my root because I do have hair that gets greasy quickly. I mean, not as quick as it used to, but relatively quickly, especially if I am putting product on top of my hair like that. And while I definitely do use a blow dryer on my roots, I'm never using any sort of hot styling tool there. I don't curl my hair up there. I don't straighten my hair up there. And that's something that has just worked fine for me, but obviously the goal would be to apply heat protection everywhere. So if you do have a product that you love using for that and it doesn't make your hair look greasy, that's the way to go for sure. What was this? Ignore. After I apply that leave-in conditioner, I will let my hair air dry until I am ready to start the blow drying and styling process. I'll definitely do a separate video on that drying process and my entire drying and styling routine, so stay tuned for that. But if I do want to use some sort of style hold product, this is where I would do that. So for example, one of my current favorites is the R&Co Grasp Intense Hold Shaping Balm. This is something that I really love using if I want my style to last as long as possible. But I definitely don't use a styling product every single time I wash my hair. It's just kind of something that depends on how I'm planning to style it. And honestly, like what I'm in the mood for, because sometimes I'm just like, I don't even want to bother. Then after my styling process is complete is when I will go ahead and apply some sort of hair oil. I personally like using oil in my post-wash routine as more of a style finisher, so I'll use it to smooth flyaways, tame any frizz, just make everything a bit sleeker and shinier, which is why I only use a little bit of product here. It's not something that I'm loading up in the way that I do my pre-shampoo oils. That is a totally different kind of use for an oil. So I'll just take a couple pumps of product, rub that back and forth between my hands, and then run my fingers through, I would say like my lower lengths all the way down to my ends. Sure. Again, I will definitely do a separate video on my favorite oils for this purpose, but I'll quickly mention a few favorites. First is the Living Proof Frizz Vanishing Oil. Second is the Bumble & Bumble Hairdresser's Invisible Oil. Third is the Oribe Gold Lust Nourishing Hair Oil. Fourth is the new Dove 10-in-1 Bond Shield. I think they actually call this a serum. Super serum. Yes. But to me, this very much is in the category of oils because of how it feels and kind of what it does for my hair. And then of course, any of the OGX oils that I have mentioned before. So they have the Moroccan oil in the like regular penetrating oil form, and then the serum, and then the mist, and same for all of the coconut oils. Any of those work. Obviously, some of these oils do have added heat protection, like for example, this one from Bumble & Bumble. So if you wanted to use this before you blow dry. If you wanted to use this before you started using your blow dryer and before heat styling, if you were using a curling iron or a straightener, you can absolutely do that. I have just always preferred doing it after because I feel like for some reason I am more likely to accidentally overdo it when my hair is still damp and feel like I need more, and then my hair ends up looking greasy and like stringy and separated, so I just stick to using it after to play it safe. And that is my step-by-step post-wash leave-in product routine. Now let's move on to all of the questions that you guys asked me about this category in general. Number one, is it necessary to use leave-in conditioner if you don't have a lot of damage? 100% yes. Leave-in conditioner is definitely not just a product category for those that have damaged hair. It's really something that I view as essential for everybody in order to protect your hair from future damage. If you are using the right kind of leave-in with the right kind of ingredients for protective purposes, it's really like putting a shield on your hair. And again, if you're using the right kind of leave-in, that shield, if you will, is really protecting you from multiple forms of damage. So heat, UV, mechanical wear and tear from brushing and styling. It really should just be a must in everybody's hair care routine, which is why I often say that this product specifically is one of the most underrated in hair care in general. How do I know if I'm using enough of my post-wash products? This is a tricky question to answer because I feel like there's not like one easy, clear way to know for sure. So I think that's why for me, I just feel better about being really meticulous in the way that I apply leave-in conditioning sprays, where I'm sectioning multiple times, I'm spraying from both sides. That has just been the best way for me to feel that I am covering as much of my hair as possible. And I contrast that to the way that I used to apply leave-in conditioner several years ago. That was literally like a that is not enough. I mean, maybe if you have like really, really fine, thin hair, it is. But I think what can really help is just actually thinking about the hair strands that you're covering when you're applying each product. Because doing like I just said, neglects all of the hair that is under here. How many leave-in products is too many at once? The limit does not exist.
The limit does not exist.
Technically. You can apply as many leave-in products as you want. There's really no reason that you can't do this. Like, that's not something that's gonna severely damage your hair and make it break off. But it can definitely just make your hair feel heavy and weighed down. It might make it feel dry and look frizzy. And if you really overdo it, it can make your hair feel sticky too. So instead of trying to add a bunch of different products at once and then like seeing how that works and how your hair reacts, I think the better approach is to start off with less and then build from there if you need it. There's really no need to be using a bunch of different forms of leave-in conditioners. Like, you don't need a spray and a serum and a lotion and a cream. So start off with a spray, maybe a styling product, an oil like my routine here, and then you can go from there and add more if needed. Is it okay to use every type of leave-in in the same routine? Spray, cream, oil, etc. Again, that is something that you can do if it works well for your hair and it's something you enjoy. It's definitely not gonna like cause damage, but it's not necessary whatsoever. If my leave-in has heat protection, should I still use more? I personally don't think that you need to do this. If a product is a heat protectant, it's a heat protectant, whether or not it's a good leave-in conditioner. And I think something that would like lessen the confusion that people have about this, because I feel that this is something that I see talked about a lot on socials, is that a lot of the same ingredients that do condition our hair, detangle it, make it softer, smoother, protect it from damage, also protect our hair from heat. So it's not as if there's this list of heat protective ingredients that can only be used in a heat protectant and not a leave-in conditioner. A lot of the times those ingredients are interchangeable. And I think one of the best examples of this are silicones, because they do everything that I just mentioned from the heat protective side and the conditioning side. What is the simplest leave-in routine that I can do as a mom with no time? I am looking for the bare minimum at this life stage. I wanted to answer this because it's not just new moms that are looking for the simplest routine ever. I definitely see comments from people that are like, you know what? I can't be bothered by all these different steps, all these different products. What is the simplest thing I can do to achieve the end goal? And to that, I would say, this, or any of the other leave-in sprays I mentioned. A leave-in conditioning spray with added heat protection will cover most of the bases that you need for this specific routine. Is styling cream the same thing as leave-in conditioner? Sometimes. Some styling creams are not the best leave-in conditioners because maybe the purpose of that cream is not for conditioning, but for something like style hold. That's not the case with every styling cream though, because there are styling creams that are plenty conditioning. It just totally depends on the type of product. So I would say pay attention to the brand claims. If it's mostly making claims about hold, flyaways, things of that nature, then maybe add something to your routine that can offer a bit more of that conditioning, detangling, protecting, etc. Is there a proper order in which these products should be applied? I would say technically no. Like, there's no one right way that you have to apply these products, and if you don't apply them in that way, then it won't work. Like, that's not how these kinds of products work. However, I do think that there's definitely an order in which you can apply leave-in products that will give you the best results and make your hair feel the best. For the most part, I would say you can approach that order of application from thinnest to thickest. So your thinnest products would be sprays, and then after that you have serums, and then lotions, and then creams, and then oils. Following that approach tends to give better results than like doing that in reverse, like oil, and then cream, and then spray. But the exception to that would be if you are using a product that needs to be applied before anything else, like for example, my Living Proof hair strengthener. This is really something that is a treatment. So I think that, you know, you can view it in that way too, like treatments first, then leave-in sprays, serums, lotions, creams, oils. The other thing to consider, of course, is if the product that you are using has heat protection added or not, because if it doesn't, then that's something that I would use after you have applied heat. So let's say you're using an oil that doesn't have added heat protection, I would save that for the end of the styling process when you are done using heat on your hair. The final consideration for this would be when to add in styling products, and I think it's really important to do that after you have conditioned your hair and protected it from heat. So make the leave-in conditioner and the heat protection the first focus of your routine, and then after that you can go on top of it with styling products. How long should you wait before applying leave-in products? I personally think you can apply them right away after you get out of the shower. I just like to make sure that my hair is like wringed out as much as possible so I don't have all of this excess water. And again, we're going to cover that in my next routine video, which will be my drying process. Can I brush my hair while it's still wet to spread leave-in product evenly? Something that we've talked about on my channel before that I think a lot of people are just more generally aware of now anyway, is that the answer to this is different depending on your hair type. If you have curly to coily hair, it's best to brush your hair while it's wet. So the answer to this would be definitely yes. But if you have straighter hair, it's best to wait until your hair is dry to brush through it. However, I can totally understand this desire, like wanting to try to use the brush to spread that product through your hair. So if, you know, the sections approach doesn't work for you, you feel like brushing through is what works best, then what I would say here is if you do have straighter hair, just wait until your hair has dried a little bit more. Make sure it's not sopping wet because that is definitely when it's most likely to break off. Instead, wait for it to dry a little bit until it's more like damp instead of wet. Do you need to have heat protection in your styling cream? No, you don't need to use a styling product that has added heat protection as long as you have used a different product to protect your hair from heat. So for example, my R&Co Grasp Intense Hold Shaping Balm does not have added heat protection, but that is totally fine because I have already applied heat protectant to my hair. How do you prevent the sticky feeling when applying leave-ins? This almost always happens from using too much product. Sometimes there are leave-in products that just feel sticky no matter how much you apply, so make sure that that's not the issue. Test out a different leave-in and see if that solves the problem first. But if that's something that happens to you no matter what product you're using, then the issue is likely that you're just applying too much for your hair. Do you need hair oil each day after washing? No, you don't need to apply it every single day after you wash because it will still be in your hair from when you applied it the first time. Your hair is still going to be getting those benefits as long as it's in. Can you apply oil every day after washing? Definitely. If that's something that, you know, you feel you need to prevent your hair from looking dry and frizzy, by all means go for it. I used to really enjoy that when my hair was severely damaged. I just don't feel a need to anymore. Do you use the same leave-ins on dry hair for heat protection that you use on wet hair? No, this is not something that I do anymore, even though I definitely used to. I would just like take, you know, Pureology or any of the sprays I talked about and spray that on my dry hair. But then the issue with that is that number one, my hair's wet again and I need to blow dry it for a second time. And number two, more often than not, it would just make my hair feel kind of gross. Like it would feel like it had a lot of buildup in it. It would be weighed down. It would get frizzy a lot easier. It might start feeling sticky from having too much product in it like we just talked about. So I do not do that at all anymore. I exclusively use dry mists, aerosol sprays, whatever you want to call them, if I am going to be applying heat to my hair when my hair is dry. And if you are curious, my favorite product for that is the Living Proof PhD Heat Styling Spray. All right, those are all of the major questions that you guys had for me. I really hope that you found this helpful. If there is anything that I didn't answer, of course, drop those questions in the comments below. Let me know your thoughts on this video. Is there something that you are going to change in your leave-in routine now after watching this? If you are interested in testing out any of these products I mentioned, everything again is listed and linked below. I was gonna say listed and mentioned below. No. Listed and linked below in order of mention. And if you did enjoy the video and would like to see more like this from me, please don't forget to give this a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, click on that notification bell, and send my channel to a friend. Thank you so much for your support in doing those things. It really does help me out, so I appreciate you so much for doing that. Thank you for watching my videos. I love the freaking heck out of you guys. Make sure to stay tuned for my next one because that will be up in a few days. But until then, I hope you have a great few days.